Welcome to Tap Water. Cheers!
Cheers to the tap
To
water!
episode number 1.
We are so excited to be talking to you guys. We run our mouths like tap water.
We do, and that is why we thought, let's get it on camera. Let's bring it to you guys in on the conversation.
Really excited to be here.
We are, well, what is Tap Water? Why have we decided that yet another podcast has been added to the roster and we are appropriate candidates to add our names to this?
I feel like we're fully appropriate. We're the type of friends that talk for hours and that is our favourite activity. Like, I don't want to go out. I don't want to have dinners.
If we're going to have dinner, it needs to be a 3-hour conversation.
Yeah, every time.
Sure.
Every time. Like, we have this joke in our house where it's like, they will come round and we'll literally be talking till 3 a.m. like non-stop, and it's never enough.
It's a tap.
It's an actual tap.
Hence the name Tap Water.
So you guys know our code now. Every time we're talking, it's tap water.
Tap. So what can you guys expect on the podcast? We are, like we said, 2 best friends. We share a lot in common, and so this is going to be everything about us, our life, our businesses, the goss, everything.
All the tea.
All the tea.
Because we're here for the tea, guys, really. But we've got so much gossip. Like, we've got years worth of friendship. We've literally been friends since school. Like, we've watched each other grow. And we just have a lot to say. Like, we're 2 girls that are very opinionated, have lots on our mind, and aren't afraid to say it, you know?
Yeah, have been, but now we're not.
We've been victims. Well, I certainly have been a victim where I'm like scared to post on social media. I'm like, oh my gosh, like people are going to come for my neck.
Same.
I don't care anymore.
The tap has been turned on.
And honestly, like, Sophia is my safety blanket. Like, when I'm with her, I can speak. Do you know what I mean? Like, I can speak my mind.
Right back at you, babe.
Sometimes when I'm by myself, I struggle, but when I'm with her, I'm like, I can actually say everything I want. So this is the perfect opportunity for me to just talk my shit.
We've been friends since school, which I think a lot of you don't know.
Yeah.
We've actually been friends since we were 11 years old. It's over a decade.
That's crazy.
So there's a lot to say, a lot to spill.
And I mean, it just, again, like, a tangent's about to happen now, but bear with me. I feel like we place a lot of importance on our friendship. Like, for me, a girl friendship is like one of the most integral relationships that you'll have in your life.
Yeah, agree.
And like, our friendship, I feel like it carries me through life. Like, I couldn't imagine not having you. Go on, Sophia. But it's true, you know, and so that's why this is really important to us, because, like, I don't care about the whole, like, blood is thicker than water business. No. Like, friends are your chosen family, and we truly are, like, each other's chosen family. Like, we've chosen each other in our lives for a reason, and we share so much together, like, so many memories. Like, we've grown together. We've seen each other through so many different phases, and that's what we plan to do for the rest of our lives too. So yeah, we are best friends till the end.
Till the end, for sure. And that is why we really wanted to bring this to you guys, because you can only see so much of our friendship or our relationship, and there's so much to just divulge. And one thing we love to do is just go into topics in the most excruciating depth and detail.
Excruciating being the key word.
We're so philosophical. Everything is a big, massive conversation, and so why not bring you guys in?
I'd like to think we're 2 unique young ladies. I'm not gonna lie. Like, we're both on our entrepreneurial journeys. We both own businesses. We're both the same age. I'm 24. You're 24. Our birthdays.
Don't remind me.
And I feel old. Our birthdays are quite close.
So she's a Capricorn, I'm a Sagittarius, so it was like 2 weeks, 3 weeks between our birthdays. Yeah, so I was born 99.
2000, baby. What else do we have in common? I feel like we're the type of girls that, like, there's so much we have in common, it just rolls off the tongue.
Yeah.
It's like, I'll be saying something, she's like, oh, me too.
Oh, I said that, I was thinking that.
Yeah, there's like no unique experience when it comes to both of us, but at the same time, we're probably a little bit different too, so we
are
balance each
yin and
other
yang.
out.
This is what we say, like, there's some days, well, we are so similar, but then we are so polar opposite on so many things as well. Like, I'm very detail oriented, you're very, like, doing oriented.
Yeah.
But then we complement each other so well, and what I lack, I genuinely feel like you fill in the
No,
gaps,
100%.
and vice versa.
Like, it's genuinely like filling up my cup. Like, the things that I lack, you like 100% have. Like, we always have this joke where it's like, if we need something doing, she will come up with the theories, she'll come up with a plan, and I'll just do it. Like, I'll execute it easily. And like, the part that I find hard is like the planning part. Because I just can't be bothered.
Yeah.
Like, I like to just do.
Yeah.
Versus like, you like to plan ahead, like mitigate, solve problems. And it works so well.
So well.
I just feel we complement each other so well.
Mm.
And even when we're having conversations, it's nice that we both see eye to eye on a lot of things, but we also have our own opinions on things.
Yes, that's what's most important to me in this friendship. I'm a very strong-willed, strong-minded person, very opinionated, and because those opinions are based on like a lot of thought, it's very hard for me to respect other opinions, I must admit.
Yeah.
And when it comes to you, you are one of very few
I get past.
that can challenge me. I'm like, you know what? She's right. So, you know,
I feel the
pretty
exact
easy.
same way. Like, as brutal as it might sound, like, there's not a lot of people that I would, like, actually listen to. You
Same.
know, like, people talk a lot. There's a lot of people giving advice
Same.
online. There's a lot of people saying stuff.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, if I, in my head, don't really want to listen, I just probably won't.
Mm.
But you're somebody that I'll always listen to. Like, you could stop me in my tracks
Yeah.
of doing something. And I won't do it. But like that doesn't happen with anyone else in my life.
No.
There's no one I would listen to because I'm so strong-willed. Like if I want to do something, I'm super stubborn. But you can literally be like, no, Amber, like this and that, or like don't do it. And
Yeah.
I will listen.
Yeah.
Like you could tell me to jump off a cliff. You could.
You know what?
You actually could. Like actually, it's slightly toxic.
But this is our issue as well. Like, we are the most delusional when like,
Oh.
paired together. And so what it means is any scenario, what the outcome that we want, we can convince ourselves of
No,
it.
it's so bad.
And there we are in
Yeah.
the land of delusion together.
Because like, we can theorize for hours.
Oh yeah. Oh
And
yeah,
so,
that
like-
we can do.
I could say something to you and you will literally be like, yeah, this
Yeah,
is why
yeah.
you can do it, this and that. And it's
Yeah.
like the most crazy, ridiculous, like obscure plan of all time. And I can do like the same to you.
Yeah. But everyone needs a delusional bestie.
Yeah.
Like, you need a bestie that is going to say yes and encourage it and make you feel like you're not crazy, you're not dreaming or thinking too big. Everything's just a yes. Surely,
But
why
delusion
not?
with like an inch of like realism as well.
Oh,
Like, do you know
for
what I
sure.
mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Because
yeah.
that's where I feel like people go wrong.
Yeah.
Like,
It's just like, oh, delusion.
so delusional, like all talk,
Like,
like
yes, bestie, you look good. You,
no,
that's
no,
a great
it's like,
idea.
no, you look like shit. Like, no, you look crap.
That's not quite a good idea, but how about this?
Oh my god, that's such a good point. So
Yeah.
I feel like within our friendship, we're both like we're not scared to say what we have to say.
Yeah.
Like we're not easily offended because
Yeah,
our
yeah.
banter's quite dry,
It's quite harsh.
blunt, quite harsh to the naked eye, I
It
must
is.
say. Like the type of banter where if you're listening and you're like, do they hate each other? No, we don't. We actually really love each other, but we can take it because
Yeah.
we just understand each other. Like we're telepathic,
Yeah.
genuinely.
And because it's fundamentally rooted in actual love,
Yeah.
there's nothing that you could say around like, she's hating
Yeah.
or she, do you know what I mean?
There's
It's
no
just,
one-upping
like
happening.
never.
Yeah.
It's like, so I can say the most brutally honest,
Yeah.
sometimes harsh stuff and right same back at me.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm never gonna think, why is she saying that? It's just like, okay, my girl's got me like
Exactly.
sparks.
Because it's always rooted
Yeah.
in like just
love and just wanting to better each other.
And that's the thing that I think people struggle with in friendships.
Yeah.
Where people are just trying to like one up each other. Like
Mm.
you're trying to throw somebody under the bus to make yourselves feel better.
Yeah.
Like I fundamentally don't feel like I'm a human being that exists like that, and
Yeah.
neither are you.
Yeah.
But in this friendship as well, like we're just championing each other constantly, you know, and like that's why we can literally say whatever we want to say to each other, and it's always going to be fine.
Exactly.
And we also know the levels in which like we can like we know how to speak.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like you're
Yeah.
not just gonna like be like, oh my god, Abby, you look like shit. Like,
Yeah. Actually, I think I've said to be fair. I think you've said.
do you know what? There's nothing she can say that
There's
would
no
offend me.
bounds.
Like
There's
there
no
isn't
bounds.
any
If I'm
bounds.
saying it, it means you do.
Yeah.
And
Touche. Like, there isn't any bounds. There's no stone left unturned.
Yeah.
And again, I think that's why this makes such like a beautiful friendship and a beautiful podcast, hopefully, because
a lot of honesty.
yeah,
A lot of banter. A
Yeah.
lot of just realism, but a whole lot of delusion as well.
like you need that though. Like I like being delusional. Like,
Of course.
I think one of my best personality traits is how naive I can go into situations. Not naive because
I've always said this.
Yeah.
I've always said this.
not because I lack like
intelligence or, yeah.
at all. Like
Yeah.
it's more just because I know that sometimes you need to go into things slightly blindly
Yeah.
and like with an inch of delusion,
Mm.
and because that takes you really far.
Yeah.
Like it does. Just believe it will happen, and it does
Yeah.
sometimes. But like in a non-manifesty way.
Yeah.
Because then if it gets too manifesty, then it's like too delusional.
But the reason why, because I've always said one of your most admirable traits is how bold you are. Even if you don't know everything that you need to know in that scenario, you'll still just get stuck in. Knowing though, however, and this is the important point, that you have like a real ability and like resilience to problem solving.
Yeah.
And so when things do arise that you didn't foresee necessarily, it's not just a giving up thing. It's like, okay, I kind of expected this because I did just jump straight in, but then I'm equipped enough to problem solve through it, and yeah, I really admire that about you. So
Oh,
yeah, you've got a real boldness.
but this is the thing that I love about you, which is like you can always think about every possible scenario in every.
It's excruciating.
No, but
sometimes,
it's so good. Like your attention to detail is unmatched, and like sometimes that's what I lack, because it's like, yes, I go like head deep in first all the time, but sometimes it would be nice to just think a little bit more first, or just spend that time like prepping, and that's the time that you always spend prepping. So it works, because it's like you'll prep, and then I'll be like, go, or like I'll be ready to go, and you're like, no, prep more. And also this relates so well into business.
Yeah,
like this does.
That is again where we differ so much.
No, but that's it.
Yeah.
Like I don't even want to go into business yet, because again, this is tap water.
The tap has like long been turned.
It's just topic after topic after section, and then like we'll remember small sections, like revisit
something
them.
else.
Yeah, like a tangent after a tangent after a tangent, and like I'm sorry, but like I'm a type of human being. Like, if you don't like conversations like this, like if you don't want to tap water with me,
it's not gonna work.
It's never gonna work. From a friendship perspective, from a relationship perspective,
For sure.
from an acquaintance perspective, like
Sure.
I simply don't want to chill with you if you're not willing to tap water with me. But also, if you don't have the ability to tap water well, is a big issue. Because you could chime in on the convo.
Yeah, but it's not hitting.
Yeah.
The contributions are lacking a little bit.
The contributions have to be solid. I
Yeah.
can't lie.
We was up the other night until 3 a.m.
Yeah.
and like in genuine shock horror to see what we had done.
Yeah.
3 a.m.
Was
Felt like
crazy.
it was 6 p.m.
Was
like
crazy.
It was going and going. The tap even ran dry. It was relentless.
But this is the thing, right? So we'll meet at like, say, I don't know, 1 p.m. So then we need a few hours of like buffer time, right? Like we've just seen each other maybe after a week. You know, we always say it's like first date. So we see each other, it's like 1 p.m. for example. Then we need a few hours of just like kind of small talk, like on the surface, like what have you been doing this week? Just like the basic level, like what are you doing at full, like what are you doing at work, how's Jordan? And then it gets a bit like, okay, now we like dissect. Either like it's normally like taking in turns. Like someone's going through something.
Like, so we have a phrase, right? I go into dust mode.
Yeah.
And
Oh
she
my
goes
God.
into ghost mode.
We're not talking about dust
No,
and
that's
ghost
gonna
yet.
be its whole own topic.
Yeah.
But when we can tell someone's in dust or ghost mode, they get the floor.
The
floor
floor, like,
is yours.
Entirely for how much duration that person needs. Like, but dust and ghost is like, it's scary waters when that happens.
And when they coexist at the same
oh
time.
my gosh,
it's like
insufferable.
for everyone.
Like put us in the bin, throw us away, like end it all, because it's just not good.
Because the best of this relationship is when one is slightly,
Yeah.
down in the dumps. The other one's a really good pick me up. But when we're both going through it, it's
Insufferable. Genuine torture. We torture ourselves, everyone else around
Yes.
us. Yeah, normally one of us takes the floor. And then we will talk for hours and hours and hours and dissect parts of our personalities. And just, I feel like we're the types of human beings who love to take accountability.
Of course, it's a big psychoanalysis. It's a big.
I can't exist if I'm not dissecting
For
parts of me
sure.
that can be developed, can be transformed. So dissecting like childhood traumas, like
This links to that. This
Yeah.
links to that.
yeah, because my mother did this in 2015 is now why I feel like this in 2024. Like, but it's just so good, and it is like I just love it.
My life depends on it. It always has. It always will. What can I say?
No, but also another thing we need to mention is how much we actually speak, and I actually want to know
If this
if
is
this
normal.
is normal. Yeah, like because this can't be normal. Like this can't be normal. Because
We've recently coined the term live streaming. Because it's got to a point where our texts are like a continuous, insufferable live stream.
it's
Like
so
to the
bad.
point of like I'm using the toilet, like I have to update you. It's too much.
I've never been in a relationship where I've texted my boyfriend that much. The way I
No,
text
I've said
Sophia.
that. I've said to
Like-
you, like I text you more than I text Jordan.
Like, why would, like, I've just never been in a situation where I'm texting someone more. Like, texting, like, texting my partner that much would genuinely give me the ick. But texting you, it's fine. And it's like, I have to do it. Like, in the morning, good morning. And like, normally, to be fair, we don't even start with morning. But like it's only like on a road day.
Yeah.
Like today, I think it was an early start. We're always straight into it.
Yeah.
No formalities. No hi, how are you? It's just a stream of consciousness.
Like genuine, I'm just brain dumping somewhere, and it's on your plate. It's the best place for me to put it.
And like, there's no shame in my game. Like, I don't care about double texting.
Oh,
like,
yeah, no.
I'm gonna like quadruple. I'm gonna
It's our
spam.
favorite thing.
Yeah.
Then when I know you're busy, now you're getting like
Even more. Yeah. And like when I know that you're literally working a shift, like you're packing Uber Eats order at like in your
And you're
dark
stacking
section.
shelves.
Like I am literally FaceTiming you. Like I need it right now. And then we have our SOS alert.
Oh, okay. Let's talk about SOS.
Yeah.
SOS
SOS.
is important because sometimes we do air each other when we actually are
Yeah,
busy and we know
fair.
it's like just utter nonsense.
Yeah.
I'll come back to you. But sometimes something is urgent.
And we get an SOS. There's like an SOS emoji.
Yeah.
And we literally like that is only used for
Well,
emergencies.
recently you broke it and actually used it. She just wanted a reply. It was not an emergency. And I was having the worst day as well. Like there was a fire right outside our kitchen. I couldn't get out. Anyways, it was a bad
I
day.
genuinely wish I could tell them what my SOS was, but it is slightly incriminating. But all I want to say is that like I needed an immediate reply, and I was desperate,
She didn't.
and I needed her to like tell me how she thought about something, and so I sent her this SOS, and she was like, Amber, like I'm literally dealing with a fire,
A fire!
and you're sending me this, and I was like, I'm sorry.
You've abused the SOS and
I have.
heavily offended.
But I feel like you don't abuse the SOS. I do though,
Yeah.
because sometimes I get really desperate. Like I just need the confirmation. It's like I'm ready to go ahead and do some crazy stuff. Like I don't mind like going full face forward. I don't know what the terminology is, but I don't care doing things. Like I can do things easily, right,
Yeah.
without much thought.
Mm.
But what I do need sometimes is that confirmation from you.
It's like I've already made up my mind,
Yeah.
but I still just want to
Yeah.
hear the yes.
'Cause I'm
from
gonna
you.
do it.
Yeah. But
But
just
like,
to hear it's
yeah.
really supported as well.
And like there's gonna be some times where it's not supported, and
Yeah.
that's fine. But
By
I
now
need
I
to
know.
know. Because then I either decide to go ahead with it or
Yeah.
not, knowing that I'm gonna either get support or not.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And so then it's just a decision on my end, which is like, do I do it or do I not? You know?
I was really gutted with your SOS usage because it did water it down a little bit now. And now I'm going to think twice before I respond to an SOS.
No, trust me and believe me. And this is actually a really good point because our emoji usage is crazy. Like we say to like anyone, right? If you can like unravel our text messages, if you can understand how we speak on text,
Yeah.
you know who we are.
Then you
fundamentally.
understand us,
Yeah.
like you understand our jokes,
Yeah.
our psychology.
It's
That's
genuine
its own
code.
language. Yeah.
Like we don't speak in like normal terms.
No.
Like, if you're to see our text messages, it isn't normal.
It's not English.
It's not.
No.
But like we use emojis, like we say words
Yeah.
in like the wrong way constantly.
But
like,
it means something, like it has
It means
its own
something to us.
distinct meaning.
Yeah. And like our favorite thing, well, we've got two favorite things at the moment, I think.
Okay.
One is like finding a new emoji.
Yes, and surprising each other with it, and we instantly understand it as
Like
well.
I won't even tell her what it is. I'll be like, oh my god, I found this.
Yeah.
Send it, and she's like,
I'm
that's
love
brilliant.
it.
Love it.
Get it, love it.
Yeah. And like she just gets the connotations of that, and then like the next day in the chat, I'll just drop that emoji,
Yeah.
and she knows exactly what I need.
It just fits that emotion specifically
Yeah.
perfectly.
And then the next thing would be our word bank.
Oh, the word
Like
bank.
I'm so passionate about word bank.
It's genuinely like a big life passion of mine.
No, same. I want to continue it forever, and if I
sure.
don't, I will simply die.
For sure.
Like-
What is our word bank?
Our word bank is basically like, I don't know, you say it because you're going to say it better than me.
No, but we've made it a running joke of ours now. Let's keep one-upping each other with like the most ridiculous vocabulary. And so sometimes one of us will come up with the most ridiculous phrase, like the world's longest word in the dictionary. We're like, oh, love that.
Yeah.
Like we were in Hawks Mall, we were having this dessert.
Oh my
And, like,
gosh, yeah.
The perfect word was it's decadent. Like it's not
Yeah.
nice, it's not great, it's, not fabulous.
It's not luxurious, it's
No.
not creamy, it's not indulgent.
No, it
It's
wasn't any of those things.
decadent only.
Specifically.
And it's like, the best words in the word bank is when it literally embodies a feeling.
Genuinely.
Like it's like the best word you can
Yeah.
find
Yeah.
to like actually describe how you're feeling.
Like it's my thought, like finally articulated perfectly.
Like it's so good, it gets us going. Like sometimes when I need like a quick high, I will just be like,
dig into the word.
yeah,
bank.
can you give me another word
Yeah.
for the word bank?
Yeah.
Or I'll be like, oh my, like I'll FaceTime with Sophia, like I found a word for the word bank. It can't be like basic words.
Yeah. Yeah, it has to be ones that are not commonly used.
Yeah, like you're not going to use it in everyday sentences.
Yeah.
Like, I think we speak quite well.
Mm.
I mean, listen, like, I'm not even going to say that. People say we speak well.
Yeah, I think we just speak
Normally. Being told I'm an elaborate speaker and so have you.
Eloquent.
Oh yeah,
Eloquent speaker.
Apparently. Listen, I think we speak normally, right? But I don't know.
I'll take it.
I'll take it if you think I sound good.
Thank you.
But yeah, no, honestly, like, just one-upping the dictionary is a big passion of mine. I love the dictionary. I love the English.
The dictionary is crazy. It's wild. I love the dictionary.
Wait.
What a passion.
Wait. I love the dictionary.
She's crying.
No, you're not.
No, but like, guys, like, I just need you to think of it right now. The dictionary is genuinely one of the best books. No, I've just uncovered something that I really love and
I
passionate.
think you found your life
Like, I'm
passion.
getting hot. No, but I love the dictionary. I think it's such a beautiful piece of work.
Do you know what I love more than the dictionary?
Tell me.
Do you know what I
Tell
love
me, I'm
more
really
than
scared.
the dictionary? The thesaurus.
I knew you were gonna say that. Because that bitch.
Oh,
Not
the
only she got all the
thesaurus.
words right,
The
she's got the
synonyms.
synonyms. So it's like, yeah, that word kind of missed the mark, but if you're trying to say this, use this
Oh
word.
my god, thesaurus is so good.
Thesaurus is, I love her. I
Do you
love
know what's
her.
really funny? What just happened, right? So we just had this big spiel about how we don't one up each other, and trust me, we don't, right? But sometimes we do, but like in a funny
Yeah.
way. So like she'll say something like, I don't know, like,
We can't tell the details of what it was, but I was just saying, like, let's say I was saying, I'm going through a thing. And essentially what she said is, I'm going through a bigger thing. But it was so funny the way you did it. We were screaming with laughter because I was like, why? Let me have my moment, man.
so funny. Like,
It's like you're enjoying the dictionary, having a great old spiel about it. No, what's better than the dictionary is the thesaurus.
All right.
we love the dictionary, we love the thesaurus.
Love it.
I wouldn't quite say I'm a nerd.
No,
I
I
just
would
don't-
say I am a nerd.
You
I'm not
are.
gonna lie.
Actually, I think it's really cool. Like, I'd like to be a nerd, so I'm not in the cool club. But I don't do the gaming. I'm not into the Excel
Okay, I'm not
spreadsheets.
that kind of. I'm not. a
No, I
gamer.
know, but like, you're really good at a spreadsheet, for example.
I'm not. She says this.
I know, like, she's being too humble. Like, okay, I get it. Like, maybe you're not in the spreadsheet Olympics, because apparently I've heard that exists these days.
No way.
I don't know, like, I've heard, like,
Yeah.
you can really go crazy and feral with, like, Excel. Like, I don't know.
Cool.
Like, the nerds, like, are gonna have to tell us.
Yeah.
But I lack basic IT skills.
It's one of very few skills that you lack. You're such a
Thanks.
skilled young lady,
Thank
darling.
you.
But IT isn't your forte.
It's not.
And that's okay.
And the irony is, like, I'm a content creator, but, like, I do it very simply, you know? But, yeah, it's not something I'm good at, but it's something that I could happily pay someone for, or tell my best friend to do. So,
But this is how she lives her life. This is the catchphrase of Amber Rose.
What's the ROI?
but, like, genuinely, if there's no ROI, I'm not interested. Like,
No.
I need to, like, measure up in life what is worth my time and what is not. And
Yeah.
if there's simply no ROI,
Yeah.
I'm not interested. And for me, I'm like, could I learn these IT skills? Yeah, to be fair, there'd probably be a bit of ROI in learning, like, basic skills. But I'm like, there's so many people around me that do it. Like, I haven't needed it yet. I'm 24. I'm doing good enough. Like, I would just pay someone.
For sure.
So,
Work smart and not hard, as the old adage goes. Eh?
there we go.
But you know one thing about you though is like you are a lot smarter than you let on.
Okay.
And like I know you said that I'm the nerd, I'm the smart one. She's very clever. She's very clever. But she plays into it that she's not because she likes to be
I
underestimated.
like to cosplay.
Yeah.
Like, what can I say? Like, I like it when people underestimate me. I think people do it by default anyway.
Yeah.
So I'm like, let me just play up to it.
It's a compliment, by the way. Like the other day I was on live and someone was like, not a GCSE in sight. I was thinking, thank you.
Thank you
You
so
look at
much.
me and you think I couldn't possibly be smart.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Like, I don't know how to say it, but I love being underestimated.
Yeah.
Like, I think, like, it's something that I felt a lot growing up.
Yeah.
Like, I felt like I was constantly underestimated, etc. And then I was like, do you know what? I'm just going to use it to my advantage. Like,
yeah.
people are going to underestimate me because of a few things, especially in business. Like, I'm a female, I'm young. Like, especially when you've got a bit of personality, you're a little bit funny. Like, I like to think I'm slightly humorous, especially, like, in a social setting, right? I'm, like, the type of girl that will make the jokes a little bit,
Yeah.
right? And so people would assume naturally that I'm just silly or like I don't have much going on. And like because I'm so secure in like the type of things that I've achieved and like my capabilities and like my business acumen, for example, I'm actually completely okay for people to think that of me because I just know it's not true.
Yeah.
And like, if anything, I use it to one up people all the time.
Yeah.
Because it's like, you underestimate me constantly. Sure, I'll just show you.
Yeah.
Only if I'm bothered, because sometimes there's no ROI in even showing you. So you can have your perception of me, but it's simply not true.
Yeah. It's something about both of us because in a room I can instantly spot someone who's like trying to show you what they are, trying to make it very apparent what they are, or like people who are very patronizing because they want you to know how clever they are, and I can spot it from a mile away, and I hate that. I'd much sooner and much rather someone think I'm a complete idiot, I'm so unintelligent. That's on you. I'm never going to prove myself to you. The more that you get to know me, you will see how multifaceted I am.
Exactly.
But I'm not going to sit here and ever like prove it to someone or, you know. I think that's go on.
I think it's about striking the balance. Like, I'd like to think that we're both quite humble and have a lot of humility. Like, I'm definitely not where I want to be in life, but like, I can also appreciate the type of things that I have achieved, right? That people might perceive to be, you know, somewhat level of success, etc. Right? And the same goes for you, but at the same time, like, I'm humble too. Like, I'm not gonna sit like. I'm not going to be in a group of like, I don't know, I'm not going to be ever in a group of people and be like, oh, I've done this and I've done that. Like, it's just so cringe, it's just so ick. Like, if it comes up naturally in conversation, sure, like, there's no reason for me to hide it per se, but I'm not going to be the type of person that's so forthcoming about all of my accolades. I just feel like that comes from a place of insecurity. Like, you need to know what you have, and that should be good enough. Sure, everybody likes a little bit of an ego rub, but like, there's a time and a place. I hate that.
Yeah, exactly the same. It's what I was basically saying. If you have to be in a room and constantly beg for approval or beg for like accolades, you're not a self-assured person. And I do think there's a lot of things that we're working on, but we both are very like self-assured fundamentally. And again, that's something I really respect about you. And I think it's a reason why I can take your opinions on board, because you are genuinely a self-aware person. You are also a confident person, but not overly or too overtly, you know, or arrogant. You also know how far we've got to go as well. I think that is what makes someone actually confident, not the loudest in a room. It's the person who is just sure of themselves, even if they're the quietest, but they're actually sure of who they are and don't need to be told it by anyone to believe it or think it.
And I think, again, just to your point a little bit, like, if you're the loudest person in the room because that's your personality and like that's genuinely who you are,
then you can see that
then
as well.
Fine. But like, I feel like people can see through that.
For
like,
sure.
There'll be scenarios in which I could potentially be one of the loudest people in the room, just because sometimes I can be quite humorous, and like, depending on who I'm with, they can bring that side out of me. I just like to talk. But that's not coming from a place of like insecurity, but more just like me thriving in like a social setting. But then there's times where I'm like, I actually just don't want to speak. Like, I don't care what you think of me. Like, I just, I'm not thriving in this situation. There's no ROI. Like, I don't really like this room of people. I'm not really going to be the loudest person here. And sometimes it's like, if I haven't got a lot to add, if I feel like I can't add value, essentially, why would I speak? Like, the type of people that really like kind of get on my nerves, the type of people that like contribute for the sake of it and like give out like free advice, and like I'm like, I just didn't ask for it. Genuinely. Like, and so many times people like will DM me, right, and be like, oh, you've achieved this and that, like, please tell me. And like, I will stop myself because I'm like, I don't think I'm at a stage yet where I can actually give you this advice. And I appreciate your compliments, and it's really, really nice to hear. And like, again, like, I can agree to a certain extent what my accolades are, but I still don't think like that I'm in a place to give you this like profound advice. I'm simply not. Do you know what I mean?
I mean, but again, there is balance that has to be had though, because sometimes, because of how big our goals are, sometimes you do, and I do it too, is downplay what we've done a little bit too much. And especially because you aren't at that end goal, it means so much more too, because you're one step closer to where they're at. Do you get what I mean? Because if it's coming from someone who is all the way at the other side and they are at the end goal, it's a little bit more unattainable.
I agree. I think I'm just scared of the ick. And I'm like, if I'm going to get the ick, I'm from myself, like, then I'd die. So, but yeah, you're right. It's about striking the balance. And again, I think sometimes it's a double-edged sword. I think sometimes I personally take up too much humility, too much, like, accountability. But yeah, listen, we're learning and growing. And that's why we're here. And that's why these conversations are important, because we just talk through it, and then it's about striking balance. We're not perfect. You know? We're just working on it.
Working on it.
Yeah.
So let's throw it all the way back, because this didn't just start a little while ago. We went to the same school together. There's a lot that we share in common. Same school. We both content create. We both run a small business. There's so much that we have done together and learnt together. So let's go back to school.
Yeah, I feel like school's probably a really good place to start. As much as I feel like we enjoyed our school experience together, like that's what made school fun for me.
For sure, me too.
We had really different experiences. Like it's a part of my life that I don't like to talk about. Like I didn't love school. Like
Yeah, you didn't.
wasn't a massive fan of it. Like if it comes up in conversation, I probably wouldn't talk much about it.
Yeah.
Kind of wanna
Yeah.
never speak about it again.
Oh, I hate that though.
It's not even that like anything that traumatic happened. I just
Yeah.
don't think it was like an integral part of my life. Yeah, and there just wasn't that much ROI in there
No.
for me. Like,
Of course.
I didn't enjoy it. It wasn't even that I was bad at it. Like,
No.
I think it was decent at school,
Yeah.
but I just didn't really love it, you know?
Yeah, which is so like opposite to me, because when I talk about when I was my most confident, my most self-assured, it started in school. Like
Yeah.
that was my domain. I felt really comfortable. I felt like whatever I wanted to achieve, I could, and I always refer back to my time at school.
Yeah, you do.
And like how I'm trying to get back to that sense of confidence.
She was the most like well-rounded, like
Aww.
all-rounded individual. Like I would
Aww.
always call her an all-rounder.
You
Like that was the
did.
way I would literally describe Sophia. It's still the way that I describe her now, but I think we use the word multifaceted now.
Yes, we do.
We've upgraded our
We have.
vocabulary.
We have.
But it's just because she was the girl that would always get the A stars. Like not even the A's, like the A stars easily as well. Like
No, it wasn't.
no,
easy.
it was. Come on,
It
like
wasn't.
people would like work like day and night to get that, versus like you would just maybe cram in some revision last minute. Like it was like she's too humble. Like trust me, do not believe her. She would get A stars. She would be like the most flamboyant speaker. Like she would. She would be the best actress. Like she did. So she did drama. She was also one of the best singers in school. She did every like
So
school
was you.
performance. Don't know what happened there.
We're gonna divulge into
No,
this
it was
more
like a
because
blip
she
in
likes to
universe.
hide it. This girl can sing.
No.
You can.
Okay, like objectively, I feel like I've lost my talent. I
Oh,
think at
shut
one
up.
point I probably could hold a note, but
No,
now I
babe.
can't.
Oh, hold a note.
Yeah, like now I can't.
No,
do
you
you know?
are massively downplaying it.
I just would disagree. Like to the point where I don't even think it's a passion anymore.
No, that's not true. Guys, whenever the music is playing and we're just getting into it, my girl can sing. And
No.
not just like, I'm not here to compliment if it's not true. You can sing.
No.
Sing.
We're lying on the podcast. That's what we're doing.
I'm going to get proof, you guys. I'm going to get proof.
But I digress.
One bang!
This is Sophia's word, like digress, tickles my brain. Yeah, she was so good at school. Like she was the
Wow.
popular girl. She was like
So
the
was
pretty
you.
girl. I don't think I was that popular. I think I was in the popular group for sure. It wasn't like the popular girl.
But you was always one.
I
like,
infiltrated
you
though.
You always say this. It's on a mission. Like you got there.
Like honestly, the ranking was important. Like I'm sorry, I had to get myself in that group.
Those things do matter in school.
They
though.
did. And like that's the type of shit that I was probably like more focused on. I was like, I need to be in this group, like need to look good. Like
Oh.
versus the actual studying part.
But you also are very naturally intelligent. It's like what I was saying earlier, right? Sometimes you downplay your talents a little bit, and you were very clever in school. You were in all the top sets.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was just like I knew I wanted the rags to riches story.
Yeah.
Like I just knew that would be my story. I'm like, why pass when I can just fail and it sounds
No.
cool? my favorite thing to say is like that I'm writing my story, and I genuinely would like
say that.
just think I'm writing my book. Like yeah, like I didn't pass my maths GCSE, but I have a 6-figure business. That's cool. Like
That
it
is
just
quite
sounds
an
cool.
accolade.
But at the same time, like pass your GCSEs, you actual like person. I did pass my GCSEs.
Yeah, you
I
did.
did get a math GCSE though. I actually
You
didn't
did?
get it.
I swear you.
No, like so I didn't even retake it. Like I just
Oh.
couldn't be bothered. Like you're supposed to retake it, like it's compulsory.
Because I remember this phase.
Yeah. Like I was so in rebellion. Like
Yeah.
after school.
Yeah, this phase was torture for
it
me.
was.
Like,
It was like I think yeah.
Oh, you was a naughty gal.
Like
man.
college was like bad. Like and you know what? Like we probably should do a pod episode on college because like
For sure.
I went to the world's worst college.
We went to the world's most different Like sixth form college
Polar opposites.
experiences, yeah.
Like insane, like sick. Like you went
Yeah.
to a really good sixth form, like
Prison,
had a,
like prison.
like a structure,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
had to wear uniform.
Yeah, it was
like
school.
I went to the craziest like music and arts like
Yeah.
college in like East London. Like it was brand new, where
Yeah.
there were like trappers that would come and like use
No,
the studio.
no,
like genuinely, and like I would like never go in. Like
Mm.
I didn't do anything. Like I just didn't get educated for like a whole 3 years of my life, or however long
my
college was.
God.
I just wanted to work.
You've always had it in mind without necessarily realizing, okay, it's going to be Orima, but you knew that you wanted to do something like that, something very unvocational.
Yeah.
And I think that's why you've always valued education. We both have. I'm not saying you didn't, but it was like, it doesn't matter what is on paper. What matters is what I actually achieve.
I just want to prove a point.
Yeah.
Like that's all it is. I just love
think you
proving
do.
a point.
Yeah, I think you have. You don't need the accolades on paper. You don't though. Like,
But it's something like it's cool to have it too though, because
Yeah.
the fact that you can flex that you've got like all these A stars
Yeah.
is pretty cool too though.
yeah, I mean, like both ways it works.
Yeah.
Especially we had very different visions at the time. I didn't know what I wanted to do career-wise, but I just knew I wanted to be able to do whatever I wanted. So I was like, why not get the A stars?
Yeah.
It did get me into a very good
Yeah.
job. I was in finance in investment banking for 5 years.
Yeah.
But that wasn't something you ever wanted to do. Corporate was never like on your radar,
Mm-hmm.
and so it made sense. Like your route got you exactly to where
Yeah.
you was destined to be and where you are now. And even though we were so different in school, we still always came back together and had the best times together.
I think it's just because we're both always ambitious. Like we just, I don't know whether, and it's something that we speak about often, like, are you born with it, are you not? I don't know what it is, but we're just hungry. Like always just so hungry, wanted more from our lives, didn't want to be like, we didn't want to be products of our environments. Like we didn't grow up, you know, with wealthy families, in a wealthy background. We didn't have a silver spoon. Like we didn't have many privileges really. Like we went to just like some really bog standard, like all girls school, like in East London. And we're just determined to really just fight our way out of it. Like you had a different approach to mine, but ultimately we like shared the same goal. We still do.
Yeah.
And so that's why we all always came together. And also it's nice to have different perspectives. Like it's nice to have someone that actually cares a little bit about education, like has the A stars. And it's also nice to have someone that's like a slight risk taker who's just gonna like charge forward and do stuff too, right?
But
So-
that is like fundamentally what our relationship is,
Yeah.
and it epitomizes it so well, because since we were young, we were so similar in so many ways, but then we were so different on certain things. I did take it a little bit more seriously. Like the night before an exam was coming, I'm like, okay, I know we've messed around a little bit, but I am gonna now go into hibernation and revise. I just think at that age we didn't realize it, but we were building our future characters essentially, and like
Crazy.
I just look back now and I'm like, we had no idea,
Yeah.
but we kind of have stayed the same, like
have.
in so many
Yeah.
ways. And even though we didn't know how, we always knew the what. Like we knew what we wanted, and we knew where we wanted to go, and we knew we wanted to do it together. We just didn't know how.
100%. Like at one point I really wanted to be like a pop star.
Yeah.
Like that was what I
Yeah,
wanted
yeah.
to do. Then when I realised that like that probably wasn't gonna like work out, because I wasn't willing to like be broke and like not get signed. Yeah, I just don't want to be broke. Like I just can't be broke. Like do or die. Like I have to escape that.
Yeah.
Which is why you went into the corporate role.
Yeah,
right?
so I
'Cause
have to go into investment banking.
you need to make
Like-
cash. And like I was doing this like crazy like sales job, right?
Yes.
Doing door to door, which is like insane, and like we can divulge if you want,
Yes.
like at some point, but like
Sure.
it is a story within itself. But did it for a few years, but like did actually really well at it. So like I was like a business partner when I was like 19, and I was like really like young in the organization, and I was like the only female that had done it at the time. And so like I did well in it, but like it was risky as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But what I was gonna say is I just had a memory of us, a very fond memory. And, like
Okay, I'm
obviously we're like
excited.
sat here speaking on the sofa about like how we tap water all the time, we text all the time. But we've always been like this.
We have.
Like we would literally stay at school till like 8:30 p.m.
No, like this is not the genuine.
But this is like a genuine
Yeah.
time. Like so like school finished at like 3:15.
Oh my god, you just unlocked
I
it.
know. It's like insane. So school finished like 3:15, right? We would literally go into like the assembly hall, and there was like a stage there, and we would lie down there, and we would speak for hours
On
like,
end.
like as in dry, like there's not even any snacks, there's not even any water, like we're just talking feral for hours,
Yeah.
just so engrossed
Like,
in the conversation.
Laid back, sprawled out conversation.
And like the caretaker's there, like he's been and done his role, like as in we're gonna get locked into the school. It's 8:30, my mum is screaming at me, she's like, you're with boys, like you're doing something
for
contraband.
Sure, for sure.
And it's like, no, I'm literally just in school, like speaking
with
to
my
Sophia.
girlfriend, like what can I say?
It's just so insane that we did that. Like we liked school, like in a weird way.
We
like,
liked the building.
yeah, we liked the building. Like we really made use of that building. But we didn't, I don't know, I didn't really like what was in it, but I liked the building.
Fair. But yeah, I just think together I have very fond memories of our experience in school. When I look at how we was as well as friends, it's exactly how we are now.
Yeah.
Like we would join at the hip. And like you said, hours on end could talk and were so aligned with what we wanted, how we saw things.
It's just always been one of those kind of friendships, relationships where it's just been easy. Like we've never had to force the convo. We've never had to like have any formalities between us. We've always just got it. There's always just been this weird understanding between each other where we just understand each other. It's never been awkward. It's never been like we haven't ever had like an argumentative phase. Like it's just always worked. We've known when to give each other time. We've known when not to, because like even in school, I don't think people really understood how close we were, because like I think I had a different best friend at school. Really. Like
we didn't call each other best friends,
but we knew we were.
We were like
the entire time.
But I also had like, I don't know what issues I had, but I hated the label best friend. And I remember like I was forced into a best friendship for a while. Hated being called someone's best friend, and so like even though we were best friends by default,
we didn't
title it.
Yeah,
I didn't like it. I don't think it did enough justice to what the relationship was. Like,
it just wasn't profound enough.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not just your best friend. Like this is spiritual.
This is soulmate.
Yeah.
Genuinely, like I've never seen anything like it. Like this is the definition of soulmate.
It is.
Like,
if it's not, then I don't believe in love.
yeah, like no, but like you know, like when Austin McBroom and like Catherine broke up, and we were like, love doesn't exist.
Yeah,
right?
Like if this ends, then
there's no such thing as friends.
I don't believe in humanity.
Yeah.
I don't.
No, I swear. Like we had. When were we even talking about this? Was it like yesterday or the day before? And I was like, if this doesn't work out between us, I will simply die.
Same.
Like, I just can't think of like that's normally how people act towards relationships.
Yeah.
This is a relationship.
No, we were planning our. We want to have a friendship wedding.
Yeah. No, I think that'd be so
We
good.
want to get married, a platonic marriage, but I think that should be a thing, and we are gonna make it a thing.
No, like I've never wanted to get married more to a person. Like I actually want to marry you.
Same.
No, but like genuinely.
No, I'm like being so serious. I've told
Like, I
Jordan
want
many
to marry
times,
you.
like he knows I'm in a joint relationship.
Yeah.
He's my boyfriend, but I'm also in a relationship.
And like the thing is like he's really accepting of that.
He understands.
Which is why like Jordan's great.
Love
Jordan.
he's in on
He
it,
gets it.
appreciates
He
it,
gets
like
it,
it's
yeah.
fine. It's not gonna fight it, it's fine. So, school, we go to different sixth forms, and then we come back together and we get really close again. It's another topic for another day, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. But a little break.
Yeah.
Breaky break.
And so we fast forward to, when did we, start with the whole content creating? I would say like 2021, 2022 for you.
2022 for me, yeah.
2021 for me. And that's another thing that we have in common is we've been on the talk.
We have been on the talk. So my door into content creation actually came from you originally, right? Because I think growing up, we always were very like aspirational, right? Like we would watch YouTube videos a lot. We always just wanted to be out there, right? Like we loved singing. Like we were creative.
We wanted to be creators of some description.
Yeah. And like our biggest regret is obviously like just not starting a YouTube channel when we were young, right?
Yeah.
Like because we really could have done it. And like I think we both just shared that always. And like no matter what career paths that we did have, I think when we did come together, we're both in this like kind of mindset where we just wanted it.
Yeah.
And obviously I was theorizing about Orima at the time. I was like planning opening the store, and I was speaking to you, and I was like, I just need to vlog it. Like I know it's not going to be the best store ever. I know we're not starting from like this amazing like point. Basically, we're starting from scratch. And I think it's going to be really cool to like take people along like on this journey with me, because like I'm quite rough around the edges. Like I'm not perfect, and I think it would be fun to like see that perspective from an entrepreneur and like a young female in like a male dominated industry. Like how do I do this? And then you came back to me and you were like, well, TikTok's popping right now.
Yes, I remember this because so at the time, so this was like the end of 2021 because this was when we was out for dinner for like my birthday or something.
Yeah.
And at that time, Jordan is actually the first on
It's
TikTok.
Jordan and my brother.
Yes, yes, your brother.
Who's
So
15.
he had like, your brother had like 10,000 followers.
Yeah, just like under.
Yeah, and Jordan had, I think he had gotten to like 30k or something, and like I had, I think 10 or 20k, and she was saying she wanted to vlog, and I was like, this is a brilliant idea. But I said YouTube it's saturated now.
Yeah.
TikTok is popping off, like it's a lot easier to get traction. And then he was like, oh yeah, my brother does have 10,000 followers on there. So he started theorizing from that point. Now look at what you've done with it. You know, from not knowing a thing, like it was so YouTube in your head, and now like I genuinely admire what you do. You've got it down, you know how to use that app, you know how to engage. I love your content. I watch your content as if like I'm a follower. Like I swear, like I still do. Like when I see a video, I don't scroll past it. I'm genuinely enjoying
But I mean, I do
the
that to you too. And like, I think I actually owe it to you, like genuinely, like, and like we always have this joke between each other where you're like, I'm your manager, right? But genuinely, like, the amount of theories we've had, like going back to like the basics, and like this is like, I think sometimes, especially with my content, it can seem like unintentional, like it can seem very off the cuff, but it's not.
Yeah.
Like it really is all theorized, and like if it's unintentional, I've done it intentionally.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
And not always, because like you're not overly curated, but yeah, you are very like specific and intentional and very well thought out in your content.
Yeah, and I just, I like have to say a massive thank you to you.
Aww.
Because it was such an integral part of my growth, like you just being there, like holding my hand and like just helping me throughout it. It like has always helped, and you're just like my soundboard a little bit, you know. And like, so like even now I'll always run things by you, or like we'll come back to each other about like a new theory. And like I know that like when long form was a thing, like the only reason why I got to long form a lot quicker than most creators did was because you had like spotted that long form was going to be like the next big thing, right? And then like we both started to make like, you would make like 10-minute videos before anyone even like made a 1-minute video. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so yeah, like even my best performing pieces of art on that piece of work, art is a stretch.
No, it is art.
Pieces of work on that platform are like 6-minute long videos, which is just, again, like we were just ahead of the curve a little bit. But I don't say this to say that I'm anywhere near my goals. Like I almost cringe a little bit, if I'm honest, like speaking about my journey, because I feel like I'm so far from where I want to be. Like even my content is so far from what I want it to be, and it hasn't reached its full potential. And like I've also been managing it whilst like managing my business full time, like in its integral years of growth, which has like required a lot of my time. And so I'm proud of what I've been able to achieve alongside that. But like there's so much more I want to do.
There is, and I know that, and I hear that, but I'm about to give her flowers, okay? Because like, so I started on TikTok in 2021, like we said, and like I've always struggled with consistency, and sometimes like getting in a rut of, which I'm sure a lot of people trying to start out can relate to, is like I just sometimes didn't feel like it was that interesting, or was always just chasing virality, and I was very good at that. But then I just felt like I wasn't building the type of audience that I wanted, or no one even knew me. Like I've done the TikTok shop chicken. I've done so much stuff, like because I knew how to go viral, and if I wanted to, I could have done that. But I was like, I just didn't have the consistency that you had. And there was times where, like, let's be real, you hated like what you was producing, but you did it anyway. And I didn't have that at the time, and that does show in the numbers. Like your consistency has shown. I do understand that you're not at your goal, but you have put in a shift on that app. And like, regardless of whether we discussed starting TikTok together, you discovered it by yourself, whatever, you flew with that alone. Like no one did that for you. I could sit with a room of 10 people and tell them to do this, do that. I can give them all the theories. There's a person who does it well, and does it consistently, that is going to fly. And like, not everyone would be able to do that. So you have to give yourself your flowers too. And I know it's not 10 million yet. It's not 100 million.
It's not enough.
But not everyone can do it, and you've done it and done it very well. And you guys don't even see the half of like the behind the scenes. So much goes into it that you don't even see. And this girl works and like you said, you were starting a whole business as well, and like I'm in a similar phase to where you was maybe like a year ago, business wise, and it is so hard to balance a personal page, a business page, like your actual business, and then the day-to-day running the business, and then the growth of the business. And you did that, like you did it, and it like you might look back and there may be things that you wish you did differently or could have done more of, but it's got you here, and not many people get to that point in such a quick time as well.
Thank you, bestie.
So,
That was quite the love spiel.
that was
Like, I don't even know how to take this compliment. Like, it's so much. But no, I appreciate it. Obviously, a massive part of that, like, is you. And, like, I appreciate you because you've held my hand throughout this journey, because it's not been an easy one. I just think even the workload itself, like, I would do, like, a 16-hour shift at the shop. Like, when I say I did 16-hour shifts, like, I'm not saying it to, like, to big myself up. That's genuinely what I did. Like, I was working 7 days a week. We didn't employ anyone because we just simply didn't want to, we didn't have money for that point, you know? Like, we felt we wanted to just kind of really get stuck in with the business and understand it inside out. We had a small shop floor. And so, we were working 7 days a week, and like I would come home from this crazy shift and then edit a video and then post it the next morning and then conceptualize the next one. And it wasn't really even the content, like it was the fact that like I was filming within my store. Like that was also so hard, because like it just added hours to my shifts, you know? Like if you're gonna film something, you've got to set up the camera.
The task takes 2 times longer.
And then especially at the time when I'm not as good as say I am now then, it just took even longer to like edit and all these things. And again, like I was going through so many highs and lows like in my personal life too. And I just had to keep like pushing and pushing and pushing and pushing. So it's kind of nice to be, I guess, like on the other side a little bit. But I'm really excited for, thank you. I'm really excited for the next phase in like my content journey, where it's like I have more time to like grow my personal brand now and really like explore things I've always wanted to do, like YouTube, like doing this podcast with you, creating more things around myself versus just my business. And so I'm really excited for like the next phase of like just like kind of upping the ante a little bit and just having more time for it. But I mean, I think also like credit where credit is due for you as well. Like I don't always think content is necessarily about numbers. It's also about quality. And if you've got like a business page, you've got a couples page, like you largely like help Jordan with his page, you've got your personal page, like you've done a lot too, girl. Like, and as you said, you've been around for a while. And in that time, there's been some serious like viral hits that you've had too. Do you know what I mean?
Like sometimes I look back at the videos, I'm like, I hope people don't remember that is me. Because that shit is archived.
Like you get noticed all the time, like when we're out.
So
like,
do you.
Like, do we talk about this? People like people know who you are. Like they've seen your videos. Do you know what I mean? And I'm excited for you to grow in your next stage. So I know you've got like big goals as well, but I want you to be proud of like the work that you've put in so far too.
Yeah, and I really am. But I know where I've gone wrong too, is in my consistency, and that's because I was juggling just so many different plates. And this has been the story of my life since I was little too. It's like, because I am so interested in so many different things, it's sometimes hard for me to focus, or my focus is so in one place, and I always feel guilty for all the other places that I feel like it's lacking or I should be focusing. And you've been a really good example of just picking one thing and sticking to it consistently, even if you hate it. And like, that's genuinely a big part of my journey that I owe to you too. Is my growth in consistency is due to you. And again, that's why together, like, content creating is such a difficult space to break into. And so having someone who wants it as badly as you, and again, we complement each other in such different ways too. Like, I might be able to spot like a trend and I'll say it to you and you'll execute it the next day, and it's worked just so well, and then I'm like, so it does work, and then I can do it, you know? And like now it's flipped a little bit where like you're left to your own devices now and you're really good at what you do, and that's just a good like inspiration to me, to remind me to keep going as well. And so I just think we complement each other so well on this journey, and I am proud. Like I would never say I'm not, but we just keep going. We've got a lot more work to do.
We've got a lot of work to do, guys.
We do.
It's just the beginning.
It is.
But it's fun. Like, it's good to be at this stage, and it's good to acknowledge it. It's good to say, hey, listen, like, this is what I've achieved, but I also want to get here. And just crack on.
Exactly.
Like, it doesn't need to, I guess, be cringy. It doesn't need to be, like, anything more than it is.
Yeah.
You know? Like, yes, we're proud. Let's move on.
Yeah.
Like, let's, do you know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like, do
just do
Do
more,
some
and
more.
get to where we want to get to.
Yeah, exactly.
But that links really closely to our businesses as well, because content is a big part of both of our businesses. We post everything about our businesses on social media.
Yeah, I think it's been an integral kind of part of my business's growth.
Mm-hmm.
Just being on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way that a lot of people found my shop originally.
Mm-hmm.
It's the way a lot of people found me. It's quite an interesting space to be in. I feel like when I first started, it wasn't that popular, but I think businesses now really use TikTok as like their like
Main means.
yeah.
Yeah.
But when I first started, it wasn't necessarily that, and I'm just really thankful for it. I do think that sometimes people perceive it to be like, oh, she just got lucky, and I'm like, you don't understand
know how much
the
we
work.
planned this.
Like you don't get it. Like you don't understand the work that has gone into this. Like it isn't as easy as just picking up your camera and just being like, hi guys, like come to my shop. I don't think I've ever even told people to come to my store.
Exactly.
Right? Like it's unintentional kind of indirect marketing almost.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I think it's just a little bit of a big flex. I can't lie. Like we get paid to market our businesses when people pay to market theirs.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big accolade to both of us, because even with Full, obviously your business is a little bit newer than mine, but when you started Full, like I think you got like 10k followers in like a few days. Like I can't remember.
No,
specifically.
it was 2 weeks.
It was 2 weeks. Okay, but like 14 days. You know, like that's something that people work like a lot for.
That is because, so in that time, we had built the couples page, we had built my page. I'd also been through it with you and your page, so we knew social media at that point. And so that is a really good example of like, sometimes you do have to wait a little bit, but then things can happen a lot quicker for you, you know? Yeah, we did get to 10k really quickly. We even got to 80k really quickly. And then we took our foot off the gas a little bit because we had to focus on the actual business and how quickly things had changed for us. But someone asked me once online, they said, do you think your business is only popular because of TikTok? I said, yes. Yes. Like, it's my main source of marketing. I don't pay for any other marketing. Yes, my business is popular because of TikTok.
And that's not a bad thing.
No, like, I'm
like,
so proud of
that. That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like you said, every month I do get paid by the Creator Fund to market my business. This is revolutionary, I'm sorry.
It's insane.
Yeah, that is just such a new way of doing business. I'm actually really excited to see how the space develops and evolves and what it looks like in like maybe 5-10 years from now, because it works very well in the startup phase, and I'm just interested to see what we do with that going forward and how our content evolves. And
I guess business is a really big topic, and like I can take you through the like A to Z of like what I've done, like the startup, like how it felt, you know, the things that I've gone through, the motions, but we really would be here for 5 hours. So I definitely think this is something that we will continue to focus on, like within our podcast. There's so many different layers to it, like not just the content creation side, but like having a physical store for myself as well, like being a female in a male dominated industry, like going into an industry that you actually haven't had any work experience in, kind of getting your foot into the door in an industry that's extremely saturated, like putting yourself up for basically scrutiny, like just having so many opinions on you while you're going through like these crazy life changes, and you're going through this like the most challenging parts of business, and like having people comment on that constantly, and so like you feel like you're being watched the entire time, and it just makes it so much harder. Like there's so much more I could go into, do you know what I mean? I'm sure for you as well.
With running a business, you only see like a 1 minute, 2 minute video online, and there is so much that goes on behind the scenes, and hopefully this will be a really good space for us to just explore that a little bit more, and talk about what we share in common, and talk about things that you struggled with that I may not have, and vice versa.
I agree, and I think ultimately like, business is something we're both very passionate about, always have been, and it's a very interesting topic to talk about because everybody tackles it slightly differently. There's so many layers to it, you know, and it will just be nice to kind of go into those layers one by one, as you said. And again, just to reiterate my point, like it's so much more than just the content creating. Like yes, largely we've benefited from marketing online, but that is not the sole reason why our businesses are successful. Because if they weren't good businesses, they simply wouldn't make money.
Exactly.
And if people didn't care enough about those businesses for whatever reasons, they also wouldn't be coming to our businesses.
Exactly.
So there's a lot of like value add there as well, and there's a lot of small little things that we've done throughout our journeys that have created what we have, like we've got.
Exactly.
And it's so much so much more complex than just picking up the camera and saying, yeah, I just want to share my story. Like,
yeah.
there's just so much.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
And something else we have in common is that we both started our businesses with our partners.
We did, which I feel like is quite niche. And the fact that we share that is kind of crazy.
It
It's like
is.
not a lot of people start their businesses with their partners. And like it's something that we can really relate to. Because it's
Yeah.
like slightly controversial in a way.
Yeah.
Like where people are like, should you do it? Should you mix business with pleasure? I
Yeah.
feel like it's worked out well for both of us.
It has.
In different ways.
Do you want to divulge? Let's put it plainly. Have you and Michael broken up?
We have. Myself and Michael have broken up. And I am now single. Fuck. I don't think it's ever going to be easy speaking about this topic, if I'm honest. Obviously, a lot of you guys like would have followed me because of my journey with Orima, my business, and the fact that I opened that business with my partner Michael. It's all very raw, very fresh, very new.
Mm-hmm.
But ultimately, it was a decision that we had to make for the both of us.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing that I love about my relationship with Michael is that it is the most respectful,
For sure.
like amicable relationship ever, which is why I went into business with him in the first place. It's slightly weird to say, but I always knew that if the worst case scenario would happen, which was that we wouldn't be together romantically, that we would still be able to deal with the business responsibly.
And that isn't to say, by the way, that you've preempted that or this is like premeditated.
No, 100%
because
not.
again, same with me and Jordan, right? We are a couple, but you do have to have those type of conversations where it's like, if we do one day touch wood, but we break up, this is a business is a separate entity, right? Romance, relationship aside, we're choosing to go into a legal entity together.
Yeah.
And so we need to be sure that we can trust each other to act accordingly because you just don't know.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean that it's preempted or premeditated, but it means that you have considered the worst because you just don't know.
Yeah, exactly. And obviously, as I said, it's worst case, right? So it's not ideal, but it's essentially what had to happen. Mike and I just have way too much respect for each other and love for each other ultimately, where it would never be messy in 100 million years.
Yeah.
Like I always describe Michael as like a golden boy. He really
And
is.
he
Like
is.
he's such a gent. Like we were friends before we got together romantically,
Yeah.
and that will always stand. And he is so incredible in business, and I literally wouldn't be where I am without him.
And vice versa.
And thank you. And my intention is to just continue to grow the business with him. We share a lot of similar goals in terms of our growth and where we want Orimark to go. I've seen a lot of like online discourse. We're still very much 50-50 shareholders within the business.
Amber's not left Orima.
I've not left Orimark. I'm not too good for Orimark.
No.
That's my roots, that's my baby. Like I've nurtured and grown that baby with my own hands, and so has he. And I simply wouldn't walk away from that, you know.
For sure. This is only the beginning.
It is. So honestly, I'm just navigating through kind of a little bit of a tough time. Breakups are never easy, especially when there's loads of logistics involved. But there's a lot of love and like mutual respect and understanding there between both of us. Yeah, I saw like people always talk online, right? And like come to their own conclusions. And this time I was like, oh, I'm so annoyed that they're right.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
like I so wanted to.
Because
prove
they're
them
often
wrong.
like really wrong.
Yeah, like sometimes people say things online and I'm like, you guys are like, you so haven't got it.
Yeah.
Like it's laughable.
Yeah.
This time I was like, you are oddly correct.
But it was like so ominously correct.
Like it was insane.
There was no indicators besides you went on a solo holiday.
Like I said,
which is really normal, by the way, as relationship, single, married.
And can I just say, like, I wasn't the type of relationship where that is completely normal.
100%.
Like,
yeah.
I wasn't the type of girl that like couldn't go on a solo
Yeah.
trip and that would be weird. Like,
yeah.
it just so happened.
They just
you guys
felt
were
the
right
energy,
this time.
man.
And it's so annoying.
Yeah.
Because I just hate the discourse.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's uncomfortable, but I thought I would address it because I guess we were in like kind of like a public relationship.
Yeah.
But he didn't cheat on me.
Oh yeah, I've
Yeah.
seen that.
Which is crazy.
Let's clarify that.
Let's just like, no.
It is the most amicable breakup I've ever seen in history. You know, the friendship is still very much there, which is the foundation of you guys' relationship. Like you said, before there was even a relationship, there was a very strong friendship, and I don't think that will ever go anywhere. And Mike is just a great guy.
Mike's the best.
Yeah.
Love Mike.
Love Mike.
Always love Mike. And yeah, that is just it. Like, I don't think there's that much tea, if I'm honest. Like, I just think out of respect for both of us, I just probably wouldn't. I think it's too early as well. Like, you know, let's give him a bit of time. Let's see how he, like, if he does do anything crazy. But yeah, like, I just, you know, you're going to ask me, well, how are you going to deal with the business now? Like, I genuinely think I'm someone that's really good at compartmentalizing. Like, I can be very, very logical as much as I can be emotional. And that's like one of the best traits I have. And so it relates to business very well in terms of like, yes, it's uncomfortable at times, but really it's not for me, if I'm honest. Like, I actually feel quite comfy.
Yeah. I think you guys have handled it like perfectly.
Yeah, like literally, like I'm on shift tomorrow.
Yeah.
And like we're working together, and it's all good.
Yeah.
Like genuinely. And we're
Went
just
to a meeting together last week. Like,
yeah, like and the meeting was great.
It
Like,
was
had a
great.
great time.
Yeah, I was there. Not at the meeting, but we were together that day.
That meeting was great.
Yeah.
We're all good, you know? And listen, it's just too early to say. Like, I'm navigating through this time, and I guess I am somebody that's quite open, and it's something that I guess you guys will just see. Like, you'll see my journey, and like hopefully it's an easy one for me, and if it's not, good luck to me, is all I can say on that topic. And
but one thing I can say is you will always figure it out.
I'll be fine, guys.
Yeah.
I'll be fine. But that really is addressing the elephant in the room.
And just on that, this is just me being a bit of a defensive friend.
I love that.
Something that I've seen, you've lost weight and so now you think you're too good for Mike. And I'm like, you guys don't know the half of, like, you don't know anything, first of all.
Yeah.
Alright. Now, do you know what? I'm going to let you have the floor on that. I want you to say your piece and I want you to feel comfortable too.
Yeah, I just disapprove of all of that, if I'm honest.
Big fat red cross.
I disagree, respectfully disagree with all of that, because it's simply not true. I have lost weight for a while, you know. I wouldn't break up with someone because of that.
How does that even make sense?
It's just insane. Like, that's the most shallow, crazy thing I've ever heard of. And you guys just heard me speak of him. He's a great guy.
Yeah.
It's just, it's not that. And that's all I can say. People always want like a specific reason, like did he cheat? Was he this? Was she that? Sometimes things just naturally come to an end and it doesn't feel right, and you have to just be honest with yourself and put your happiness first. And ultimately, like, I'm 24 years old, I've been in a relationship for 4 years while simultaneously running this crazy business, and like we've grown a lot together. We've changed a lot as people over time, and things just came to a natural end.
Yeah.
Is kind of my outlook on it all.
Yeah.
And it had to happen, you know? And it was something that...
It's not a rush decision.
No.
It's not, you know, this has taken time. And
you've got to put your happiness first, ultimately. And if something doesn't feel right for you, you've got to be really honest about it, no matter how uncomfortable that might be. And especially when there's logistics involved, like you live with someone, you own a business with someone, like your families are so integrated into each other's lives. It is hard to kind of end things at that point. It would be easier to stay in those type of situations.
Yeah.
But I think myself and Michael both aren't the type of people that would want to be in a situation for the wrong reasons. And so we are still a massive part of each other's lives and intend to be for a long time. But just not in that way, just not in a romantical kind of way. But yeah, it's all love.
it is. It is. Many of us are like genuinely behind you and support you and just want to see you happy as much as to see him happy too, and just cannot wait to see what the future holds. And I am always proud of you regardless, and I've always got your back, and I'm just immensely proud of you always.
Love you, bestie.
Love you, babe. And so I think that brings us to the end of episode 1 of Tap Water.
So crazy.
Gotta turn the tap off.
Yeah, we have to turn the tap off. I think yeah, we're officially like tap watered out.
We are.
Which is a crazy thing to say, but I think we've done well here.
I think
we've
we
done a
have.
solid shift.
Yeah, mouth's getting a bit dry.
I really hope that you guys have enjoyed this episode. We really wanted to give you guys something that felt very authentic to us. I hope that we can be on this journey together. I hope that this podcast like progresses, I'm sure it naturally will. And I think that is very us, like just taking you on a journey.
Yeah.
But ultimately, I really hope that you've enjoyed the conversations that we've had, because we have.
Yeah.
We always will.
I'm just looking forward to getting deeper into all of these topics. Let us know what you want to hear more of, what you want to know less of, and we will take it from there.
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
We're so excited to hear what you guys want to hear.
Precisely.
We don't just want to like put out kind of episodes of us just talking for hours of
Yeah.
things you don't want to hear. I mean, I think we're quite interesting people, but even so, even so, for these
still
two,
want to know.
we still want to know what you want to know, and hopefully we can deliver that for you.
This has been fun, babe.
This is us signing out.
Cheers to episode 1.
Just to episode 1.
Cheers. Well, I guess that is over.
And out.
Bye.